Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Amos versus Johnson, Jr.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Good day. Ms. Amos, you opened your case today because you are furious that the defendant acknowledges your older child, London, yet denies paternity of your 2-month-old daughter, Paris, and does nothing for her. You claim he needs to step up once you prove that he is Paris's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Johnson, you testify that the plaintiff is a liar and a cheater who knows you are not her child's father, and that this is just a ploy to keep you in her life. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I want to start with you, Ms. Amos. You say he does nothing for Paris.
He absolutely does nothing at all.
Explain.
No Pampers, no milk. I can get him to do nothing. He don't even acknowledge the fact that my baby is a possibility to be his. He acknowledge her at all, like she don't exist, period.
So wait a minute. You have an older child together, London.
Correct.
He does stuff for that baby.
A little.
But he does nothing for Paris.
Absolutely nothing.
I have my serious doubt that the baby's not mine. I done seen text messages on her phone from other guys saying, is you coming with me again tonight? I enjoyed myself. His name saved under a female name.
So are you all in a relationship?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. But at the time Paris was conceived, you were.
Yes.
Now, Ms. Amos, you were supposed to be in a relationship with Mr. Johnson.
That's correct.
You find out you're pregnant, and then what happens? You tell him?
Yes, ma'am. He instantly denied my baby when I first told him that that I was pregnant with Paris. He was like, well. He wasn't there for me through my pregnancy.
And it's heartbreaking for you.
It's very heartbreaking to me to deny something so precious like that.
Well, take me to the moment that you told him you were pregnant, because that should be a happy moment too.
Oh, the day I told him that I was pregnant, he was laying on the couch. I went to the store. I had got a pregnancy test. I took the test. I kind of briefly sat in the bathroom and I cried because at that moment, it was kind of hard on me, trying to deal with another child. So as I walked out the bathroom, he was laying on the couch. I went up to him, I showed him the pregnancy test. He looked at me and he was like, it ain't mine, instantly.
Because she's a cheater.
You a cheater.
So, Mr. Johnson, that was your very first reaction?
Yes.
First instinct was?
Whose is it?
Because in your mind, you knew she was cheating.
The stuff I seen in her phone, sneaking out late nights. I go to sleep early, I wake up, she gone. Just me and the kids there.
You actually submitted an exhibit to the court to explain the instances you discovered she was cheating.
Your Honor, that's not
I want to take a look at that. So let's start here. You say she sneaks out. Explain that.
Okay, I go to sleep early. I wakes up in the middle of the night, she gone. I call her phone, and she don't answer, but she'll text. Oh, I'm going to the bridge, get a piece of mind. Who gonna go to the bridge at 3 o'clock in the morning by yourself?
To get a piece of what?
A piece of mind. But you can't answer the phone.
Okay.
But you can send a text.
So you believe she was going to the bridge to get a piece of something else?
Yeah, basically.
Next, it's the text messages from other guys.
She'd get in the shower with something. Yeah, I got her phone, I went through it. He was like, I enjoyed myself last night. And I'm ringing it, but it's under a female name. I enjoyed myself last night. If we gonna get a room again tonight or stuff like that.
Is this
That's
true,
not
Ms.
correct.
Amos?
He's
Did you
a liar.
have this man's phone number saved under a woman's name?
I did.
And so what was the nature of your relationship with this man?
He was someone that I was being intimate with at the moment.
So he was someone you were sleeping with?
He was. Only because, he wasn't ever home. And I have had my doubts and suspicions, and I have, caught him doing stuff. So, at the moment, I'm hurt. So I'm doing these things, out of emotions,
You playing the tit for tat game, he's doing it so I can do it too. And you are having sex with somebody else during the time when you're having sex with Mr. Johnson.
I was.
All right, so let me see the next part of this timeline. You say, Mr. Johnson, she announces the pregnancy.
She tell me she pregnant.
When I told him that I was pregnant, of course I was already having sex with him. We was already intimate or whatever. I had just recently, before I told him before I found out I was pregnant, I was just recently, messing with someone. It ain't like I just been messing with this guy or
so
whatever.
You say that you were not sleeping with this other guy during the window of conception?
Right.
When Paris was conceived?
Right.
That's
right.
your testimony?
Right.
All right, and so the next piece of your timeline evidence, Mr. Johnson says, the other guy confirms the relationship.
No.
Explain.
That's not true.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
I got her phone and called him from her phone because I knew he was gonna answer. And I say, what's going on? He said, we've been messing around 5-6 months.
So he just tells you.
And she was,
He's lying.
she was what, 3-4 months pregnant then?
You do the math, you say.
It's not my baby.
But you're also sleeping with her.
Yes.
Every night.
So,
And how often then, if you sleeping with him every night, how often were you sleeping with the other man?
Maybe 3-4 times. I was having sex with both of them.
3 or 4 times a week?
Yes.
oh,
Miss Amos,
wow.
that was new for you, Mr. Johnson?
Yes. 3-4 times a week. I'm not even doing it that many times a
Oh,
week.
yes, you were.
Wow.
So, Miss Amos, what I don't understand is, why are you so sure Mr. Johnson is Paris's biological father when you are admitting in court right now that I was sleeping with somebody else 3 or 4 times a week?
I mean, me and the other guy, we had unprotected sex, but majority of the time we was, using,
A condom?
Yes, ma'am. And when I told Gary that I was pregnant, I was not 3-4 months pregnant. I just had found out I was pregnant. Like I told you, man, that guy recently just had started messing around. He's lying. I never was messing with that
how she
guy.
know how
I
far
never
along
was
she is that
messing
she ain't
with
go to
that
the
guy for 6 months. He's lying. He's trying to make himself look good.
How she know
But
how
you
far-
said, you said the majority of the time.
Majority of the time after that I found out I was pregnant with Paris, of course I was. I'm not gonna lie. I got feelings like I told you. He wasn't at home. He was instantly denying my baby. So yeah, okay, yeah, I was steady messing with the other guy. I was. But I was 100% sure. I mean, this is who I was with every night, every day. You know what I'm saying? And of course we was having a lot of unprotected sex.
Of course she gonna be with me every day, every night. Cause we stayed
We've been having
together.
unprotected sex for 3 years.
So let me ask you something. Did you tell this other guy I'm pregnant and this might be your baby?
No, I never mentioned it to the other guy.
So to this day, that guy has no clue.
He don't even know Paris exists.
He doesn't know that the baby's even here?
He don't know.
And why is it you weren't just honest and say, Mr. Johnson, it could be your baby, or this other guy, it could be yours?
I don't know, I guess because I love him, and I just really wanted it to work out. I messed up.
So ultimately, you wanted it to be Mr. Johnson's baby, because even though you weren't getting along and you didn't feel like he treated you the best that he could, you really wanted to be with him and you wanted your family with him.
Correct.
But the truth is that this other guy is a possibility.
He's a possibility.
So therefore, the truth is Mr. Johnson's testimony is true, that he does have reason to doubt. The only part you got wrong, Mr. Johnson, is you said, it's not mine. Really, the correct sentence is, it may not be mine. So, Mr. Johnson, did you sign Paris's birth certificate when she was born?
Yes, I was there, and when they brought the paperwork in, she was like, you might well go on and sign it, you hear?
Never told him that. He's never told him that. He's lying.
Wait a minute, might as well go on and, who says you might as well go on and sign it? You hear? That's not why you sign a birth certificate. That's not like you might as well eat. You might as well eat since you're here for dinner. You might as well go ahead and sit down for dinner.
I didn't feel like arguing with her.
that's not why you sign a birth certificate if you don't believe you're the biological father. You should understand from London that when you sign the birth certificate, you become the legal father and you are going to be responsible for that baby, and that you will be responsible for child support, and that the court and the state and everybody is going to look at you and recognize you as the father. If you sitting there knowing you have doubts and the first thing somebody says when they tell you they're pregnant, your first thing is, well, it's not mine. Why are you in there signing birth certificates like you up there signing up to go to the play football, going up, signing up to play? I mean, you're not just signing something, it's a birth certificate.
I wasn't thinking right.
You brought a witness. Miss Amos, I'd like to hear from her. Please stand, ma'am. Please state your name to the court.
Leah Bullock.
Miss Bullock, thank you for joining us today. What is your relationship with the plaintiff?
Over the years, me and Kaya have become very close. We met through Gary. He's my first cousin.
All right, so now, do you think your cousin, Mr. Johnson, is Paris's biological father?
Absolutely. She looks just like his other two kids.
So you have no doubt?
That's just me. I mean, the information that she gave today, that was new to me. So, of course, I would have a doubt, but you know what I'm saying? She looks just like the others.
Oh, you got some new info today, too. What was the new part?
About the whole, you know, sleeping with two people around the same time that Paris was conceived.
Okay. But you think Paris looks like London, which is their older child together. Mm-hmm. And you don't really have a doubt.
I mean, I really don't. That's just me. Everybody has their own opinion, but my thing is, during the baby shower, don't be, oh, I'm having another girl, she gonna look just like London, and you know what I'm saying? You excited. And then when she's here, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on?
You feel like Mr. Johnson was excited at the baby shower and
he was very excited at the baby shower, participated in all of the games, and you know what I'm saying? Everybody laughing, cracking jokes. You know what I'm saying? Everything good, taking pictures and all of that.
So why were you doing all that, Mr. Johnson? You feel like you was there, so you might as well go on and have fun?
We was together.
Just like the birth certificate.
we was together. I mean, might as well get in the mood.
No. But this is it. I'm telling, my daddy says it all the time. He says, don't pretend to be who you don't intend to be. Now, if you're gonna pretend to be the daddy and pretend to be at the baby shower, don't pretend to be that if that's not what you intend to be. So, that was some testimony I needed, Ms. Bullock. You may be seated. Mr. Johnson, you also brought a witness. Please stand, ma'am. State your name for the court.
My name is Antoinette Johnson.
Hi, Ms. Johnson. What is your relationship to the defendant?
This is my little brother.
Your brother testified that you witnessed Ms. Amos with other guys.
I did.
She don't know who I know.
And not only that, she told me out her own mouth, this is not your brother's baby. I told him he can go on. So see the thing.
When did she tell you that?
When she was pregnant. And that was enough for me. If someone says that out their mouth, I don't need to hear anything else. And so that's where I was going. I was like, okay, you know, that's not his baby. She said it herself. So
You are not.
what else?
I said that, and the reason why I said that was because it was in the heat. You know, it was in the heat of the moment. We was arguing. We was into it.
But there are like 1 million other things you could say.
Exactly.
But why say that? And then turn around the next day and want to go, no, it is your baby and you should believe me. They're done. They don't believe.
He wasn't done. She was done.
No, I'm saying, but no, he is. He was. That's why he's standing here now with doubts. So do you believe Paris is your brother's biological child?
No, I do not believe Paris is his biological child. And I feel like that the oldest baby, London, should be tested as well. I mean, because...
But your brother has testified that he definitively believes that London is his biological daughter.
He want her to be here. If I would have went to the hospital with him, he wouldn't have signed the birth ticket. I would tell him to wait a minute. So,
Mr. Johnson, you have no doubt you're London's biological father.
I think that's my baby. I know that's my baby.
You do. It looks like you have a beautiful relationship with London.
That's my road dog.
Your road dog?
That's my road.
You love her very much?
Mm-hmm.
Miss Amos, Mr. Johnson's sister has stated She has doubts about London as well as Paris. Does she have reason to doubt?
She don't have any reason to doubt that London is his child. She never cared for me.
Miss Amos, you know, I study a lot of body language in this courtroom. That's what I do.
Right.
There was a tensing of your body before you delivered that answer. Is there even the slightest question about London's paternity?
It is. I was messing around with someone during the time I, found out that I was pregnant with London.